The time for fear is over. Gilead is no longer just controlling. It's cracking. And what's breaking loose is pure chaos. In episode 9, no one is safe. Not June, not Serena, not even the commanders who once pulled the strings. As rebellion rises and long-held secrets boil to the surface, we're heading straight into the storm. This isn't just another episode. It's the beginning of Gilead's reckoning. Episode 9 opens with a chilling silence. The streets of Gilead are quiet, but not peaceful. There's something heavy in the air, something waiting to explode. A drone shot slowly glides over a town square that was once filled with public punishments. Now it's empty, except for blood on the stone. A bell tolls in the distance. We hear no voices, just the sound of wind passing through broken windows. The message is clear. Something terrible is coming. Then we see June, alone, walking through the woods. Her face is focused, her hands shaking just slightly. She knows what's ahead. She's not running anymore. She's moving toward the danger. Her voice plays over the scene in a whisper, maybe from a past recording or a memory. They thought fear would keep us quiet, but fear is just the first step to rage. Cut to Serena, standing inside a cold, bright room. She's holding a letter, possibly a message from someone in Gilead, or maybe even a threat. Her face is unreadable, but her eyes burn with something new, a kind of resolve. After everything she's lost, she's done waiting. This part of the episode doesn't need loud action. The silence is louder than any gunshot. We see gods pacing faster, eyes shifting nervously, mothers holding their children closer, resistance members blending in with the crowd, waiting. Everyone knows something is about to break. Gilead's grip is slipping, and no one can pretend otherwise anymore. And in the middle of it all, those close-ups of June, Serena, and Commander Lawrence show exactly what's coming. Choices. The kind you can't take back. The kind that change the world. Coming next, we break down what episode 8 left behind. The cracks, the betrayals, and the sparks that will fuel the fire in episode 9. Every uprising begins with something small. An act of defiance. A word spoken when it should have stayed buried. A secret passed under candlelight. And episode 8 gave us all of that and more. But in episode 9, those quiet moments aren't just memories. They're weapons. They're pressure points. And they're about to explode. After June's last appearance, it's clear. She's done asking. She's done hoping. She's fighting. And she's not fighting alone. The look in her eyes isn't fear anymore. It's strategy. Episode 8 ended with her making a choice that drew a line in the sand, one even Nick couldn't ignore. But here's the truth. No one in Gilead wants to say out loud, that line isn't just being crossed, it's being erased. Commander Lawrence, once the architect of Gilead's rules, now walks his own halls with hesitation. His confidence has cracks. His speeches to fellow commanders are clipped and cold. He speaks of order and structure, but the camera lingers just long enough on his face to show us what he's really feeling: doubt. He knows something they don't. Gilead is no longer predictable. It's no longer stable. And those who once enforced the rules are now wondering if they'll live long enough to regret them. And then there's Serena. She's seen the inside of every prison, some with walls, others inside herself. And now she stands poised like a match, inches from dry timber. She's writing again, speaking again, and possibly reaching out to allies she once called enemies. There's no telling which side she's truly on. But one thing is certain. Serena is no longer under anyone's thumb. In episode 9, the residue of betrayal is thick in the air. People who once trusted each other are watching their backs. Allies are becoming liabilities. Families are splitting apart. Every glance, every whispered sentence, every locked door feels like a trap or an opportunity. This is no longer about survival. It's about legacy. Who will shape what comes after Gilead? Falls, if it does? Next, we focus on the characters who will carry this episode on their backs. Those who have lost too much to stay silent, and those who might burn it all down just to stay in control. A candle flickers. Someone breathes. In the darkness, 4 faces appear, one by one, lit only by firelight. June, Serena, Nick, Lawrence. They aren't speaking, but they don't have to, because in episode 9, their silence says everything. Regret, rage, fear, and something far more dangerous, purpose. Let's begin with June Osborne. Her story isn't about escape anymore. It's about impact. She knows she can't save everyone, but she might still save something. Truth, dignity, maybe even her daughter. She moves like someone who has nothing left to lose, but everything left to fight for. We see her in brief, gut-wrenching moments, burying clothes in the dirt, wrapping her bleeding hand, writing something on a scrap of torn paper. These aren't acts of desperation. They're part of a plan. Then there's Nick, torn between two worlds, and somehow still loyal to both. In episode 9, we see his guilt sharper than ever. He watches Gilead's brutality from the inside. Close enough to touch it, powerless to stop it. He meets someone in secret, maybe June, maybe someone else, and his voice cracks when he says, "I should have done more." That sentence echoes, because in Gilead, hesitation kills. Commander Lawrence, once the puppet master, now finds the strings slipping from his fingers. His voice in the council room is colder now. Not cruel. Controlled. Calculated. He's planning something. Maybe reform. Maybe collapse. But his eyes give him away. When he stands by a window and looks at the city he helped build, there's no pride left. Only distance. Only weight. And then Serena. Always unpredictable. Episode 9 shows her in motion. Packing. A bag, hiding something under the floorboards. Exchanging words with a nameless driver. She isn't waiting to be rescued. She's positioning herself for whatever comes next. She may be done playing the victim, but that doesn't mean she's a hero. Serena wants survival, but on her terms. And in her world, peace is only possible if someone else bleeds for it. Each of these characters is walking toward a crossroads. They've all made mistakes. They've all buried things. Lives, loves, truths. But now, the past is clawing its way to the surface, and they can't outrun it anymore. In episode 9, it's not about who is right. It's about who's willing to risk everything before it's too late. Coming up, we take you into the heart of the Uprising. The streets, the shadows, the sparks, and the moment Gilead's grip finally begins to slip. It doesn't start with a gunshot. It starts with a whisper, passed hand to hand in the dead of night, a signal scratched into a brick wall, a red ribbon tied to a gate. Episode 9 doesn't wait for permission. It erupts, quietly, then all at once. In the shadows of Gilead, movement stirs. Handmaids walk slower. Eyes flicker to corners. The Martha network, long thought to be shattered, is alive and moving like a pulse beneath the surface. A young girl hides a map inside a prayer book. A man hands a detonator to a woman wearing gloves. A bell rings, not for prayer, but as a warning. Then the fire begins. We cut to a checkpoint outside the city. Smoke rising, a crowd dispersing, soldiers yelling into the static of broken radios. Something's gone wrong, or maybe it's finally gone right. A warehouse explodes in the distance, once used to store uniforms, now just ash. And in the panic, someone runs. A woman in red. We don't see her face, but we feel her fear and her freedom. Inside the commander's hall, the tension is seismic. Lawrence hears the news, but he doesn't flinch. He simply says, "So it begins." His voice doesn't shake. His hands do. Across from him, Aunt Lydia stares out a window. For the first time in years, she sees something she can't control. People standing up. People fighting back. She whispers, a name under her breath. Possibly Janine's, possibly June's. Either way, it haunts her. And at the heart of this chaos, Serena stands in a doorway. Not running, not hiding. Watching Gilead burn through the cracks in her perfectly ordered world. Her child sleeps behind her. A gun rests beside her. She's made a decision, but we don't know what it is yet. The final scenes of episode 9 are chaos wrapped in silence. Gunfire in the background. Children being rushed into hidden rooms. A woman screams, but the sound cuts out. June is seen, running through smoke, her face smeared with ash, clutching something close to her chest. Is it Hannah? Is it a bomb? We don't know. The screen fades before we get the answer. But the final image is unforgettable. The Gilead flag, torn, hanging from a broken gate. Wind blowing through it, a single word sprayed in red across the ruins beneath it. Enough. This isn't the end. This is the warning shot. Episode 9 of The Handmaid's Tale. Season 6 unleashes Gilead's wrath, but what comes after might be even more dangerous. Make sure to subscribe for more previews, breakdowns, and theories. The war isn't over. In Gilead, it's just begun.